What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Way Late Bloomers podcast. This week's episode is a little bit different. We didn't have Joey for this time around, so it's just me and Spencer. Joey couldn't be here. He had some car trouble, so we apologize for that. This episode's also going to be a little bit different because this is more of a mental health episode, and it's a little bit more serious than our other episodes. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of funny stuff that happens in between, and of course we go off on random tangents and stories that's weaved in throughout the episode, because that's pretty much become like a staple of anything that we do. So it's a lot more tame than our other stuff, and but it doesn't mean that we don't go off the rails and say random crap, because we do. And this is just a type of episode that I've wanted to do for a while, due to everything that I struggle with, Spencer struggles with, and Joey struggles with, and everybody in the world struggles with, really. So despite the three of us not being together, and the fact that this is more of a serious episode, we still hope that everybody tunes in and maybe take something from the episode. That's the whole point. We just wanted people to know that it's okay to talk about things. It's okay to not be okay. Like, it's just okay in general. Like, the world's a pretty shitty place, and it's just okay. Everything's just going to be okay. And that was kind of our way of we just wanted to touch on a lot of these subjects. And Spencer was, I got to give a huge shout out to Spencer. I brought this idea to him, probably over a year and a half ago, and he was down for it then, and he was still down for it, and he was so cool with just being open about everything and willing to spill it for the same reasons that I did, which is just wanted people to know that talking about things doesn't make you seem weak, and getting help, it doesn't make you seem weak and all that stuff. And most importantly, we just wanted you guys to know that you're not alone, and whatever you're going through, there's everybody's always going through something. So you guys don't have to feel alone in that. I just want to apologize real fast for there's a lot of pausing in between stuff that we're saying. It's just we're trying to figure out how to word things, and especially for me, and I know for Spencer as well, a lot of this stuff is kind of hard to talk about because we've never really talked about it in a way that's going to be like open for people to hear. Like, me and Spencer's had a lot of deep conversations. The three of us have had a lot of deep conversations, and so we just wanted to make sure we got this correctly, and so we apologize for pausing so much. It's just I don't know, it's like hard to talk about, but we're powering through and trying to get our words. And we didn't get a chance to go into everything that I wanted to go into because of time restraints. This was a pretty late episode. By the time we got started, Spencer had to work. We didn't know for sure if Joey was going to be able to make it and whatnot. So it kind of ran kind of late, and Spencer obviously had to go back home. He has a brother he's got to take care of and all that stuff, and adult responsibilities. And so we didn't get to touch on everything that I wanted to, so maybe down the road there will be a part 2, but we will see. With all that being said, last Friday now, which is the day that this is coming out a week later, last Friday I put out a video and a podcast of another episode of Movies with Mike. I discussed all the new trilogy, the newest Halloween trilogy, 2018 Kills, and I discussed the trailer of Halloween Ends. So if you guys want my full thoughts on that, please check that out. A lot of hard work went into that, and I would really appreciate that. So please come on over as well, and if you haven't already, like our Facebook page and Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, and whatever platform you guys listen to these podcasts on, please give us a rating and a review, because it really does help us out so much. Helps us get recognition, help us get out there to more people, and it also helps if you guys share us around with anyone that you think might like us. That really goes a long way and helps us out way more than you know. And we appreciate everything, guys. So we hope that you enjoy this episode. Even though it's more on a serious note, there is funny moments and stuff in there, and we hope that anybody that's listening that is struggling, we hope that you take something from the episode. So I don't want to keep you guys anymore, so without further ado, please enjoy the next episode of the Way Late Bloomers podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Way Late Bloomers podcast. Today it's just me and Spence today. We're gonna solo this one today. This one might be a little bit of a different episode. It's something I've had an idea.
We're not wearing clothes.
That's every episode, though.
Oh, yeah, true.
We're gonna talk. This one might be on kind of the more serious side, but I'm sure there'll be like jokes and stuff sprinkled in throughout because that's just how we cope with everything anyway. This is an idea I've had for a while, and me and Spencer's always had really good, deep conversations, so we thought we would try this. This is going to be a mental health episode. So, with that being said, Spencer, how are you today? How have you been doing today?
Been doing good.
Doing good? Everything working out good for you?
Everything's going pretty good right now.
That's good. That's good. So to dive back,
The only thing that could be better is everything.
that's a given. That's a given. To dial it back, you're how old now?
I don't want to say 29.
Okay. You're 16. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, when did things
Sexually, I'm 16.
That's fair.
Physically, I'm 46.
That's fair. Body-wise, I'm probably about.
Mentally, I'm 5. I'm all over the place.
That's fair. I can feel that. My body is about in the 86 range.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you start to maybe realize that? What forms of mental health do you carry? I know we all carry, between you, me, and Joey, we all carry something. Which forms do you carry among?
Well, so what do you mean? Like,
you have different forms. Like, you got depression, you got anxiety, you have
both of those for sure.
You have I know there's different forms of depression. So there's I know you said you've had stuff.
Seasonal affective disorder.
What is that?
Sad. It's a real thing. I don't think that's necessarily me, but
well, you have a thing, like we've talked about it before, with like anger.
Yeah, yep.
And they said that's linked to some form of depression.
I've worked on that a lot, but yes, I do still struggle with that day to day.
That's fair. I've been there plenty of times. So when did it kind of start for you? Like, when you first noticed it? Like, when did things kind of where you're like, okay, I can tell something's not 100% right, but
I would say childhood. Growing up in a broken household, or multiple households for that matter.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Did can I ask you to elaborate on that without getting too, if it's not too much to ask?
My dad, I miss him, but he's been gone for 10 years or so now, and he had a lot of anger issues himself. I don't really feel he ever worked on it truly, and my sister and I took the brunt of it sometimes, and my mom struggled, and just back and forth like that takes a toll on you as a kid, and you can't really tell what positive relationships are, so that plays in the part of my struggles, I think, too.
Do you think maybe you got that, like, part of the anger stuff from your dad?
I think so. I think it's different, though, because, I have my mom mixed in also, and I think she helps balance me out, but my dad, he taught me a lot of stuff, too, like, and I got to watch how he handled things, and I wanted to do things differently.
I understand that.
But I do. Not embarrassed to admit this. I have trouble maintaining relationships. Not really friendships, but relationships with women. And I think a lot of it stems from my childhood stuff.
That's fair. Yeah. If I can, just to be clear, I did talk to Spencer before this. That he is comfortable. I swear, I'm not strapping him to a chair and forcing him to unveil all this or anything. Just just so you know.
It's my car.
If I can ask, how long? What's the longest relationship you've been in?
Probably a month. Yep, that's no joke.
And you think like that's something that stems back to what you were talking about earlier? It's just you can't, like a lot of...
I do. I think it's... I think I struggled a lot growing up, and I had a lot of built-up anger for a long time, and I think that spilled over, and people, especially women, probably saw that side of me, and it could have freaked them out, but... I've worked on it a lot since then, and I've owe a lot of who I am today for what I went through. So today is better than when when I was going through it. But I've had some very dark times and periods where I didn't talk to anyone, and just basically felt like I was just wasting away, laying on a couch.
Oh yeah,
watching TV every night and just going to the same job every day, and you can't stay like that because you'll never get out of that loop. You have to break it somehow.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine probably. I didn't have like anything close to what you had for like a childhood. Mine was more. I had a pretty good childhood.
Fuck you.
For the most part, I never really saw my parents like argue. I saw them argue pretty bad, like maybe one time, if that I can remember.
Yeah.
But you had siblings and stuff. I was an only child, and I
fuck you. Just kidding.
I don't know, mine. Mine's been kind of weird. Like,
do you ever think part of it is because you were an only child? Maybe that's helps stem your loneliness.
It's possible. That's a good possibility. Because I've never had.
I've heard that before.
Until I've met certain people, I never had anybody I could really talk to about anything, or about certain stuff or whatever.
Well, and another thing I've noticed too is that you're a very giving person, and usually, I'm not saying everybody, but sometimes if somebody's an only child, they're very selfish because they're used to getting their way and stuff growing up. But you never struck me as that. So.
Oh, thank you. I try to just be nice to everybody, like no matter, because you don't know what people are going through.
You really don't.
And even people that are giving you food, whatever, I just try to be the nicest person as I can to them. I've got no issues with anybody. I get along with essentially anybody,
right,
unless I just don't like you.
Which is why Joey's no longer a part of the podcast.
We love you, Joey.
Yeah. Miss you, bud. Miss you. SOS.
But I was gonna say mine started a little bit later. Like I could tell, like as I was growing up, I could tell things just felt off.
Yeah. But
nothing really triggered it until.
Was it one event?
Kinda. It's. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. I'm saying it's so weird to pinpoint because it was.
I'm just fucking with you.
Because it was so weird. Like I said, my childhood was pretty decent, and I never really saw eye to eye with my dad a lot. And like it's nothing again. I still talk to him and everything, go see him and stuff, and love him and all that stuff. Yeah. But we never saw eye to eye, and
because one of y'all was taller than the other.
That probably had a big part of it. Yeah,
I love that.
We never really. We do, most males aren't allowed to, are supposed to be allowed to talk about how they feel and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge problem with society today.
Well, I mean, it's been proven that most suicides are male suicides because people don't take, and this is something I want to get into.
Why do you think cavemen beat each other to death? They couldn't express themselves.
They couldn't. Well, their vocabulary
and nobody could understand it.
Yeah, because that's something I wanted to get into later was about how male mental health is not taken seriously, and but because it's like I never really knew a lot of my dad. Like he told me stories and stuff like that, but we never really. I don't think we've ever told each other that we love each other. And I've noticed something over the past couple of years that I have a problem saying I love you to anybody.
Yeah.
And where I used to be able to openly say it, and now it's like I've just kind of, I can't say it. It's weird. Even my mom, she'll tell me all the time, like, I just can't say it. It's like this overwhelming sense of, like, almost like I'm about to have a verge of a panic attack happens, and I can't. I'm just like, ugh, and I freak out, and I can't do it. I don't know why. It's weird. I've never understood it, and it makes me feel bad because I know one day something's going to happen to where I'm going to regret not being able to say it more. Wish I would have been able to say it more. But I think a lot of it had to do with a relationship I was in for a long time. Yeah. I think that I still carry a lot of trauma around from that. And,
I know.
And it was you. But I think that's where
tough to handle.
Get everybody's nerves.
Yeah, apparently.
I think that mine really kicked in when I was probably in the last couple years of the relationship. And then when we actually split and then I moved out, that's when it full force went into effect or whatever. Yeah. And ever since then, it seems like everything is in just a decline. Yeah. So there's never no better to worse ratio.
There's nothing you can get up for. Like you feel like you don't have that same drive or energy.
Nah, it sucks. It could be the fact that I'm stuck in a job that I hate as well.
I'd say that's definitely part of it. If you can somehow find a way to get out of that, you'd be surprised the difference your perspective. I went through the same thing just last year.
Because dude, like I've been off this week, and like I said, I got to go back Sunday. I know I would rather eat dick than have to have to go back.
Okay. And that's it. Thanks for listening.
I don't know. I think that it's weird just how the mind works with things. And so what have you tried to do throughout your life to try to or when did you realize that you were like, okay, I need to try to do something to make some sort of change?
I think it came from constantly fighting with my sisters and feeling like I always felt like I was left out, and I was shy growing up in school, and I feel like I took a lot of anger out on people closest to me, and it wasn't fair, and constantly being told that you're the problem, you eventually start to believe it and you start seeking out solutions. And at first, I think I went about it in an unhealthy way, thinking something was wrong with me. But over the last few years, I've really matured a lot and realized that I'm fine. I'm just like everybody else, but I have my own specific shit to deal with, and everybody has some kind of. Everybody's got some kind of
demon.
Some kind of pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like they have, and every pill's different, has different ingredients in it. But you gotta down it, and you gotta go through, how it affects you. You just gotta find little things to get your mind out. You gotta find productive ways to keep your mind busy, I feel like. And you got to find little enjoyment in things. I like playing video games. I don't play them as much as I used to. But every now and then when I can get into a game, a story or something, that's good. I can immerse myself into that. I can forget about the crap.
That's fair.
I do crossword puzzles now. In the next year, I will have done every crossword puzzle known to man, probably. I like doing that. It's a brain challenge. I try not to cheat with Google that much. And, I listen to podcasts. I try to just keep something going so I can have a little bit of a distraction. But when I do work on stuff, I get in a journal. I journal sometimes. I will listen to relaxing music. Affirmations are a good way to help yourself. If you get up in the morning, you say 3 good things about yourself. You got to be confident. I struggled with confidence. I had no confidence in high school, middle school.
I feel you.
I mean, 0, like less than 0, probably.
I feel you 100%.
I would freak out nervousness-wise, like if I had to get up to sharpen my pencil. I didn't want people looking at me.
That's fair. It's like that.
And that stuff I know comes from how I grew up, not knowing kind of... You feel like you walk on eggshells. My dad was a kind of volatile person where he would change real quick. It's the best way I can describe him. And, I guess I kind of, unbeknownst to me, adopted that. And, I got picked on and stuff. A lot of people do. But I don't know. Some parts of me would go back and change stuff. Other parts of me, I know I wouldn't be where I'm at today without what I went through.
That's fair. How did you get into the mindset of to actually get the gears turning to make that change? You're like, okay, I can't, take another day of this. So what do I have to, how did you get yourself there?
Best thing to do is to talk to somebody, a therapist or something.
That's fair. Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
And then you can get started dissecting, somebody to vent to that's not going to judge you or shouldn't judge you. You can start dissecting what the problems are, what you can work through, how you're being perceived. My biggest problem, I think, is how I was perceived by others. Like I was fighting this battle on the inside that nobody could see.
That's fair.
And everybody is, But
have you talked to a therapist or been to therapy?
Yeah, still go.
See, I've heard from multiple people that it works out great because it's like it shows you how to take these things that you can't really comprehend, and it breaks them down in different ways to look at it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was easily frustrated. Therapists would be like, let's work on your anger. How do I work on that? I can't open a book and just...
Yeah.
I was thinking about it logically, but you can work on stuff like that. You just, during the day, say good things about yourself. If you have a bad thought, catch yourself doing that. It takes practice to do that. I don't really meditate. It's something I've thought about learning more about. But everybody's got their own kind of way to deal with something that'll work for you. You just gotta kind of find it.
That's fair. The only reason I was just...
And your thing is movies.
True.
I'm sure
it is. And music. Movies and music. So that's my biggest thing. And that's another thing that kind of clicked for me when the relationship ended and all that stuff that I was in. It's like I just started going to the movies more, and I just found comfort in all that and stuff like that. So it's like that reignited, because it's like I fell out of it for a little while and stuff, and I didn't do it, especially as hardcore as I am about it now. But it's like that just reignited that in me. And plus, I love music and writing music and all that. And my biggest thing about therapy, and the only reason I haven't done it, I was just talking to somebody the other night about it, that I don't know why I can't get my head to go there. And I think it's because maybe I feel that I'm for starters, it's my biggest thing is like part
of you afraid to face it? Part of you afraid to open those doors?
It could be. I'm sure there is, because I'm sure there's probably a lot of stuff that I've blocked out that I'm like, I don't want to relive that again.
Yeah.
And my other thing is that I don't know how to explain to somebody what's going on in my head when I can't even explain it or put it into words.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
That's why I call you Simple Jack. Just kidding. It does make sense. And it's hard to open up too.
Well, that's I what's the word? I'm trying to think here. It was that, and it's like I told you the other night. I don't know if you remember this because we were all fucked up on gummies and kratom, but when we were having that,
no, we weren't.
when we were having that psychedelic trip or whatever.
I was fine. That's my normal.
There's a
shrooms.
There was a movie that came out
shrooms
back when, and again going back to the movies. But this I find so much relatability in characters and movies and stuff. Yep. And there's a movie called Inside Llewyn Davis that he's this like washed up musician who's trying to make it, but along the way it's like he has opportunities to face the trauma of his past and fix issues in his past, but he chooses not to go that route. That's kind of a subtle message in the movie, but it was kind of relatable because it's like maybe he just feels like that's what he deserves, and it's weird. That's how I feel because, like I said, like he was talking about, I've never had no confidence. Yep. I've never loved myself. I've never cared about myself and all that stuff like that.
That's a good way to say it. Never loving yourself. That's a big part. That's a big deal of mental health is you got to find a way to love yourself. My torture has always been like social media.
That's fair.
I would scroll through and see all these people happy with, a girlfriend or something or with their lives, and I would just think, well, why can't that be me? Mm-hmm. And I tried to force it a lot and stuff, and it just wasn't there. And
well, that's
you lose hope on stuff, but
true.
There's always another door to go through. Like you don't have to go through the door of mind mutilation, and that's the best way I can describe it because that's what it is. You tear yourself apart on the inside, thinking that this is your hell. You're supposed to be here. Well, we're not in hell. At least I hope not.
Yeah, because what was that thing I saw the other day? It's like, thank God we only get one life because I can't go through this shit again. But
in hell, there's only one air conditioner. It's in Satan's office. It's pretty funny.
I don't know why. I've never loved myself, and I go out of my way to give more of myself to people to try to help them than a lot of times than I have to give, if that makes sense. Like I'm completely just drained.
You're looking for a way to feel better.
Yeah, that's fair.
You feel like you keep giving, but that feeling it's not returning.
That's fair.
It's like you're just drained all the time.
And it's like, and there's a question I read that I wanted to ask you of when.
Real quick, can we break? And I want to tell you a funny skit that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I can tell it on here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought of this today. Like, those fan guys that fan like the pharaoh in ancient times. Yeah. I thought it'd be funny, like if it was like a 9-to-5 job, and they just group of them were the fanners, and just every time they would just go congregate at like a lagoon or something and get in there and like, God, man, that was a tough shift. Thank God I'm off the next 3 days. I hate fanning that ass.
Thank God Gerald's got the other 3 shifts because that was fucking horrendous.
It's funny because there's no way they were shifts. Like, they probably just made them do it till they died, and then they put another guy there.
That's how I felt about you ever seen Coming to America?
I've never seen it.
That's how I felt about Eddie Murphy's character. When he wakes up in the morning, he has to have these ladies that throw rose petals wherever he walks and shit. I was like, you know how exhausting that would be? Every time somebody fucking walks, you have to fucking get rose petals everywhere.
I was thinking, like, how do they choose the guy that's the fanner? And I was thinking, like, maybe they're out there doing the pyramids, and whoever fucks off the most or is the runt, they're like, fan duty, bitch. Like kick him, whip him over there or whatever. He has to pick up the huge fan. He's like, fuck, I'm doing this the rest of my life. I just thought it was pretty funny.
Could be based on like if you're middle class, if you're rich or whatever, something like that. Like, You know, like, oh, this guy, or they just do what they do now, which is just judge everybody and be like, that guy looks like a fanner. I could see him. Like,
yeah, that's awful. But yeah, that's just something I thought of. I think a little stuff like that.
yeah, but it's funny. Like,
It is funny. It's a funny premise.
Most of your skit stuff is funny.
Yeah.
Question I was gonna ask.
They got like third shift fanners.
That's why they're
Fanning while he
sleeping.
sleeps, yeah.
That'd be awful.
Second shift.
Fucking awful. What are some of your best experiences this year that you've had?
What experiences?
Like yeah.
So my brother just had a birthday. That's pretty awesome, you know, because I got him a TV and he loves it. Really anything that gets him to light up, because he's had a tough go of things too. He's had a tough upbringing, probably tougher than I did. Taking him to the beach last month. We're getting ready to go again, but
Fucker.
Yeah. Well, I wish you could come.
If only.
But you choose to go to hell instead.
I don't want to go to hell. That's the point. I would rather, like I said earlier, I'd rather eat a fucking penis than I would.
Why don't you go for the first 4 days and just blow it off Thursday?
But I don't work Thursday.
I mean, Wednesday night.
What are you talking about?
Like, come down Wednesday. Like, sleep for a little bit and then drive down.
If I could, I would. I don't know how. They're fucking, especially how they are now. They're watching all of us now.
Aren't they desperate for people? They're not going to fire you.
They claim they are.
They need you.
Yeah, that's what they claim. But now, to come this past week, they've cut all this. They're trying to cut hours left and right now. So,
other experiences this year, like the calendar year starting in January.
Sure.
Let's see. Let me think. This is depressing. I feel like I've accomplished nothing in 6 months.
That's how I feel. I feel the same fucking way.
But I know I haven't. It's, I handled my first wreck really well.
Right on.
You know, I was able to get another car, and I like to think that I'm pretty good with money. I'm good at managing my money and everything, and that's something that makes me feel good.
That's good.
Those are accomplishments. I keep a kid alive.
That's a pretty big accomplishment.
An unbelievably tough job.
Especially when he eats you out of house and home. So
man, he goes crazy sometimes. But
I like the stories you tell with him where you guys will go out to eat and then you come home an hour later and he's like, I'm hungry.
Bro, he heated up some hamburger helper the other day and a piece of bread. He didn't heat up the piece of bread, but he ate both of them. 30 minutes later, he comes tromping into the kitchen. So, what are you doing? He said, I'm getting a Pop-Tart. How are you hungry? You just ate 30 minutes ago. I said, he's a bored eater. He eats when he's bored.
I have that issue too.
But he thinks he's hungry. And that might be his psychological thing that he has to get over.
Because mine, it's especially stress eating. Bored eating and stress eating is a big thing. Because I have it bad when, like, Saturday nights, especially when I know I have to go back to work.
Yep.
I like probably about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning before I late. I'm just in the kitchen, whatever I can get down.
Tapeworm.
And I'm like, and I know that I'm not hungry. And I'm like, I know this is bad. And then when I go to work,
you turn into one of them Rougarous from Supernatural. Start eating all that raw meat. Right,
that's a good description of how I look when I'm eating, when I'm stress eating.
I bite my nails. That's my anxiety thing. My anxiety go-to. I've tried the little fidget spinners. I haven't quite broken my nail biting habit, but
I like fidget. They keep me entertained more than I thought they would. I need to buy me one.
Okay, so I'm gonna get real. Another big accomplishment is I am officially 2 months clean from pornography addiction.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
And that is something that I think a lot of people suffer from and don't want to admit.
True.
And it will ruin your life if you keep going with it. So the crosswords are actually a big help with that. It keeps my mind off of that stuff. But I'm proud of that. 2 months without that. You should be proud of that. Because I haven't I haven't put like a sight blocker on my phone or nothing like that. My will is strong enough to not go to it right now, and I'm proud of that.
Well, that's good, because the longer you go about it like that, the easier it'll get.
I keep up my, I try to work out. I try to stay in shape best I can for 29. I'm getting gray hair on the sides of my head. I'm not proud of that, but I don't know how to reverse that. It's from chronic stress. I know
that's
it is.
Fair. I think I have stomach ulcers.
It's not fair, actually. It's unfair, but life is unfair, as they say.
That it is, unfortunately.
But one thing that hurts my heart is seeing all these school shooters and, just public shooters that are 16, 18, 19, 20. Their life is just starting. Not only the lives that they take, but their life as well, because they're not mature enough. I don't think automatic weapons should be sold to anybody younger than like 25, 26.
That's fair.
Why do you need that?
Exactly.
You're not going to go hunting with that.
No,
for animals.
Because you're not going to eat it. I mean, if you eat it, you're going to have to pick out how many damn bullet holes out of it.
But it hurts to see that. That's why I don't watch the news.
I don't either.
I don't want to see all that stuff. That's something that I have a hard time coping with, because... And another thing is like your environment. Like if you're in an environment that's constantly negative, good example was working in hospital setting. And it's the people there are good, but you work with patients and stuff, or they're sick, nobody wants to be there. That drains you.
I get that.
And you can easily become, it's like a virus. It's just being in an environment where there's more negativity. Like sometimes you got to change things up. Yeah, change is the only constant in the universe. Things are going to change no matter how much you resist them.
Yeah. And
your store could blow up tomorrow and you'd be forced to find another job.
No, they wouldn't. They just send me
with or without you in it.
They just send me to another fucking store. They'd be like, here you go.
Every could blow up tomorrow. That'd be crazy. Sorry, cut that out.
I wish. I mean, that's fair. I understand that.
But you have to find some way, and it's hard. It's you get in this, you get complacent with things. You get in a comfort zone. I still have trouble getting out of my comfort zone, going out to places and stuff. But
yeah, I get that.
That's my battle. Other people, battle with other things. But nobody truly knows except that person that's going through it.
That's true. And that's the thing. That's my thing. That's why I've told people I like to help people as much as I do, is because I don't want people to feel the way that I do. I know how shitty of a feeling that is, and I don't know, I just don't want to see other people go through that. And what you said, like how you said you don't watch the news and all that stuff like that. I'm the same way as you. I don't do political stuff, and I don't do religion and all that stuff. Like, not like talk about it and all that stuff. Or
they're all the same to me, anyways.
I just, the world is bad enough as it is. So yes, there's probably stuff in the world that needs to be known what's going on, but at the same time, I just want to focus or try to find, I want to focus on me. And I know that might sound selfish and stuff like that, but I'm trying to focus on myself and figure out my own problems.
Right.
And like you said, watching more of that shit's going to add more stress and stuff to yourself.
To me, it's selfish to not focus on yourself.
That's fair.
Because it's like, if you're not doing what you can to improve your mind and stuff, then what's it going to take? Eventually, you're going to be pushed over the edge and cause harm in this world. And that's selfish.
And I think, I think that's why I don't know, I just tune all that stuff out, and I think,
the radio?
I mean, I know there's been a lot of horrific stuff happen over the past couple years, and I just think that I don't know. I just want, like, it's the same when I watch movies. When I watch movies, I don't like them to be filled with political agendas, because when I go to a movie, I'm trying to go in that other world and escape from this world, try to find some escapism in something.
Yep.
So I don't need to be reminded of what is going on in the world and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like I said, it might sound bad or selfish, but it's like I just tune all of that out. Like I just,
For sure.
I like to focus on myself and other people around me and stuff like that. But probably my biggest accomplishment over the past year is doing this with you two.
You do a good job with this stuff. I don't understand anything about setting all this stuff up. You and Joey do. So, I mean, it's not easy balancing all this and that.
Well, that's why I don't mind doing it at all, and I love when the three of us are able to do this, because it's honestly like for me personally, it's like a mini therapy session,
a minication.
Because not only do I get to see and hang out with the two of you, which I don't ever get to see and hang out with anymore, but it's like we just get to vent and bullshit and talk about whatever, and it's a good way of just letting, like, if you had however,
it's socialism. I forget how it's worded, but we as humans are social creatures. We need interaction with each other.
And it's like, this is just a great way of, that's
why the movie I Am Legend makes no sense. He would be much crazier than that.
He's good at just holding himself together. He had his dog for a little bit.
That's true.
But
that's not the same. You have to have interaction back that you can understand. Like, it is kind of the same, but not really.
Yeah, but dogs show you unconditional love. I mean, I know you can't understand a dog, but
but
I understand where you're coming from.
Yes
though.
And no. Yeah.
Just because it's like
what if you were the only person? It was just a bunch of dogs in the world. Like,
I wouldn't hate it. This might sound bad. I know I just said I enjoy helping people, but I fucking don't like people.
There's a bunch of dogs.
Just don't like people.
There's a bunch of dogs walking on their hind legs like people, and they had people's voices, and it was exactly the same life, but just dogs replaced everybody.
I kind of be for that.
Would that not freak you out?
It would be freaky, but I think once you adjusted and got used to it.
What do you mean adjusted?
You just adjust.
Would you ever adjust?
You just adjust and get used to it. Like you just said earlier, it's all change. You can't change. You can't help but change. You got to go with the changes.
That's true.
That's like
egg on my face.
To me,
come on my face.
This is a great way to me of like taking everything that we've dealt with over the past couple weeks and just dumping it all out and just joking about it, and
not
then,
even the past couple weeks, just in
days,
general life.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Years, decades,
just decades of pain and
centuries. That's what it feels like.
And that's what's sad. It's like and I know and I've been in this mindset of nothing, and I joke about this all the time, to the point where some people think I'm joking and other people have seen it, or they're like, maybe you are, where I joke all the time. I was like, I feel like that I'm just cursed. Like
I felt like that a lot.
And it's like I said, I've had so many examples that I give out, and people I turn it into a joke, because that's what we do anyway. We just joke about it.
I felt like I was cancer to women for a long time. Like, they would just run.
Well,
I feel like Michael Myers without the notoriety. I don't know. It's a joke, but like, I do get with you on that example that you feel like you're cursed. I've felt that way.
The best example that I've given is how I like to word it. Like, if I was ever doing comedy or stand-up, the best way I ever think about it is, I feel like, let's say something is getting ready to go right for me, and then life is in that little corner over there just going like this. Yeah, just going like this and be like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
It's like, you think it's going to go right. And then when that goes wrong, it's like, guess what? I got another one fucking over here for you. So it's like, it's one thing right after the fucking other. And it's like, where does it...
But life is always going to be right there throwing you curveballs.
True.
You have to have a contingency plan.
But do I need a curveball every fucking day to grow?
Until you get good at hitting them.
I mean...
Then they're going to throw you a splitter. That's baseball references.
Well, I just...
And sometimes it feels like that.
I just want a day to relax. Where it's like, damn it.
You've wasted that opportunity. It's about getting outside your head and exploring interest that you have, just doing different stuff, and there's no manual for it. There's no...
It's all, you gotta wing it. You're just winging everything. You wing life.
Basically, yeah. I mean, you can work towards things and have goals, but like you said, you never know when a curveball is going to come. You can't let that curveball snowball you into oblivion. Because then you're going to be in one of the Elder Scrolls.
I
get it.
There's just so many examples that and like I said, you've known me long enough now that I'm sure you've seen it. But I've had some people literally at work been like, maybe
good deals.
They're like, maybe you are cursed. Like maybe it's like, for a good example I have is like, first day I bought my car that I got outside now.
1998.
The day I made the first fucking payment on it, I was driving home from a friend's house. Deer jumped out in front of me. Fucking smashed the whole front end. The damn hood dented up. Lost the whole fucking headlight.
Were you perhaps listening to raindrops falling on my head?
No, but it would have been a perfect opportunity for that, though. It's just,
I feel you.
All those little things like that. And it's like I mentioned to Joey earlier that anything good that comes my way, it feels like it comes with a price. It's never for free.
Does.
It's never like, hey, you went through so much shit this past 6 months. Here's a nice freebie on us. Nope. It's like, here, we're going to make this happen.
But here's a surcharge with it.
Or this works out for you, but we're going to fuck you on this, on the other side. And you're like, why?
You've worked in retail too long, I can tell.
Yeah. That's probably, yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, if you can find the courage to step out and do something different career-wise, I think you'll be a lot happier.
That's why I want to do something
different perspective.
Where I work with animals. That's why I've been trying to find jobs that will work with animals.
There you go. They have OnlyFans for that kind of
stuff. Joey's wife actually sent me a link yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
I'll send you a link. Sausage link.
For a job. For some kind of job in Morganton where they're doing you'd be like this, not really a counselor, but you're like it looked like you're in like a school thing. I can't remember exactly what it was.
With dogs?
No, it was with people.
Oh.
But you're like what do you call them things? It's like, you've seen them.
Flamingos.
You've seen them like they make movies about, there's like movies and stuff with them. Like when people go to college, there's always like the college, like the person, like the person over that hall in the college or whatever, or something like that.
Like a hall monitor?
Something like that, but I can't think of the word for it. It's like you'd be over like maintenance and like people checking in and out at the desk and shit like that, and
like a
fuck, I can't think of what they're called. Like they're over that specific hall and something like that. Like a
manager of
something like that. But you get to live, if you're hired, you get to live in one of the apartments.
That's pretty cool. You trying to get out of here?
No, but that was part of the thing that she sent me for the job, and I was like, that'd be pretty interesting. I said interacting with students would be fun on my part because I'm used to cussing everybody out, so that'll be a fun interaction.
If I may, I think one thing is you're afraid that what you go to is going to be worse.
Yeah. There's no.
There is that possibility, but the best part, you can move on after that. And
Sure.
the quicker you move on, the less like ties. You've been with this place for a while, so you're tied to it. Sort of like it's harder to leave the longer you stay.
It's true.
It's hard for me to leave. I was at my other place for almost 6 years. Now there's other circumstances that kind of forced my leaving, but I did want to leave, and just kind of had to take a leap of faith. And
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I do. I'm a Christian. I do believe in God. I've struggled with my relationship with Him for a long time, but it's getting better, and I do believe that He performs miracles and will help you when you're in need. I don't believe He gives you exactly what you ask for, or the way you ask it or something.
I've always heard it gives you the opportunity for what,
yeah, like you're not gonna just, hey God, give me a soda. Like He ain't gonna flash it down and there'll be a Dr. Pepper in your hand. Like he gives you the strength to walk in the fridge, walk in the kitchen, get you a drink or something. That's just a minor example.
True.
But if you're like, please God, send me another job, there's things that you can do to branch out and try to find another job, and he may show you that,
That's fair. See, my thing is I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I held a lot of anger towards Him for a long time too.
That's fair. That happens. Happens.
I've cussed at the sky a lot.
Been there.
And I've felt so bad afterwards, and I've gotten down and begged Him to forgive me and things. And
well, that's the thing, when you're angry, you do things that you don't mean.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you're not clear-minded or anything like that. Like you react out of anger and stuff like that. And
when you're angry, it's everybody else's fault.
True. Fair.
Or everybody else is in the wrong.
But I 100% agree with what you said. I can totally admit, it's out of fear. I let fear control me, and I hate that. I thought at first,
it's like, whoa, pussy.
I thought at first when you did this, I was like, I thought you when he's like, I live my life out of fear. You're like, is it because you have a small penis? Because you gave me this look like this.
Need a dick.
But I just think that, and it's 100% true. Like I hate it. Like
about the penis.
Well, that I see all these people that just get up and do these things with like no repercussions. They're just like, fuck it, let's do it. And I'm like, fuck, I'd kill to be able to do that. Like these people that just move away from somewhere.
I'm
and
not
just,
very spontaneous. I'm a planner.
That's fair.
Not an actual planner.
I don't even have any plans.
That's like a book. Well, I'm a person. I'm not
a planner.
Yeah. That was the worst one I've said so far. But yeah, like I like to have things structured every now and then. I try to challenge myself and do something spontaneous, but it's tough, it's tough.
Well, that's like when I was off this week, I wanted to do something outside of the box that I don't normally do. So it was like...
Did you?
No. I didn't do anything. I mean, I cleaned my closet out. That's something I need to do for probably 2 years now. So I did get that done.
And that's good, yeah. And the thing is, don't beat yourself up, even if you, don't think you failed or anything. You needed some rest. Like, you needed a break. And you did get a break.
Thank God.
Just, it's easy to point fingers at yourself and get mad at yourself or whatever, thinking you failed or something. But the best way I've found, the way I live my life, is one day at a time. I can only do one day at a time, one thing at a time. I'm not a woman. I can't multitask. One day at a time. One day at a time, one crisis at a time. That's another thing. I want to start saying crisis averted.
Even though
makes me feel like a superhero.
Even though you feel most of the time it's your 50 crises, all the time.
Go take a huge shit, and when you get up and flush, go crisis averted. I don't know.
That's why I texted you about the idea. I was watching a movie the night that I texted you before I was off.
Surprise there.
And that's what actually got it started.
I enjoyed it.
I did. I did. I can't explain why, but it was like a movie there. It was like set in this beach town.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I was like, it just really makes me just want to. I had this drive that night where I was like, fuck, I just want to go. And
I got you.
And that's why I texted you. And then come to find out, I found out they actually filmed the movie in Wilmington. And I was like,
fuck. Or maybe that's something spiritual tugging at you. Like, it's time. It took me a long time to branch out to do things I do now. Like, we're all like in a cocoon, kind of. Not together. We're all in a singular cocoon.
We can be together. If you want a cocoon together.
You gotta blossom. You gotta grow. Like, you gotta branch out on your own time. You can't be forced into it.
True.
But I tell you one thing I am afraid of is getting 80, 90 or whatever and be filled with so much regret.
And what ifs.
Right. So that's why I don't want to have any more regret. There's a lot of things I regret about growing up the past 28 years or so, but you can't do anything about that now. Like, all I can do is do what I can I'm going to make damn sure the next 10 years are amazing. Then when I'm 40, it's basically over.
I have the same mindset you do on that, except for mine is 30, and I'm fully scared.
Aren't you 30?
No, I got 2 years, and I'll be 30. I'm 28.
You're running out of time.
And I'm fully scared that when I hit 30, I'm going to have a full fucking meltdown. I'm going to lose it.
Well, and this sucks, because I had a knee injury. Like, I feel when it's raining now. My back hurts all the time. My neck hurts. Like, I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure I suffer from scoliosis, some form. You know, we fall apart.
That's what I'm saying. I can't. And I've realized, especially just the past 10 years alone since I hit 20, or maybe the last 5 years, like 25 to now, I can't do half of the shit that I used to be able to do. And I'm like, this sucks. This whole growing up thing, this is bullshit. I want to cancel my free trial, and I want to, revert back,
somebody
please.
asked me, would you go back to being a kid? I said no, because I'll have to grow up and do it all over again. I won't do that.
That's true. That's true.
But another thing I was going to say is the gym. The gym's kind of like my escape place.
That's fair.
Like, when I'm in there, I've got my headphones in. I can just focus on letting that energy out in a positive, constructive way. I'm building myself up. I'm losing weight. I'm doing good. Like, that gives me a sense of purpose and accomplishment every day.
That's fair.
If you can find something like that, that's going to help you get your head out of that mindset.
Mine was always when we played shows with the band. That was always mine. When I was up on stage for the 20 or for the 20 or 30 minutes that we were up there, everything melted away. There was no thinking about what I'm doing tomorrow. There was no worries, no troubles, none of that. It all just melted.
For sure, yeah.
And that was I was like, that's why I love it so much. That. I do. I would give anything to be able to do that again.
I don't know how to play anything, but I would learn if y'all want to get together and play stuff.
Dude, I would love that. I don't even care what kind of music we played. I would figure out a way to work something into it. I wouldn't even care.
We could just have a jam session.
I'd be for that. I don't even care if you played a fucking... What's the thing?
Bongo drum.
What's the shit you scraped? Morocco or whatever?
Matches?
No, the thing. It's like the wooden thing that had the hole in it where it's like the... when you...
It's like a cheese grater.
Yeah, like you scraped it across. Hell, I wouldn't mind if you just played that. I don't give a shit.
Like the oboe.
But yeah, you're going back to the fear thing. That's 100% true, and I wish that... Like, there was one night, I remember I laid in bed. I had to go back to work the next day, but I was just laying in bed dreading it. And I sat there and looked up these stories and stuff like that. And these people and this girl told this story about how she was so unhappy.
Yeah.
She just packed up everything and moved to New York. And she knew, well, granted, she knew somebody in New York, but she packed everything and stayed with her friend in New York and got a job at like one of these she's like a fashion designer in New York now. And I was like, that's incredible. Just to have the balls to just be like, fuck it. I'm just going to leave it all behind and go.
The thing is, she wasn't born with those balls, so to speak.
True.
Nobody is. True. Nobody's born like, this is Sparta. Like, nobody is just thrust into the world acting like that. It's behaviors, it's environment, it's all that. they do a lot of psychological studies on that stuff. That stuff interests me, psychological things.
That's cool.
I watch murder shows more often than I should.
It's addicting. I get it.
It's interesting.
Very
it's horrible.
Interesting. It is, but they're interesting. You can't deny that they're not interesting.
You wonder why people do things like that.
True.
And real quick, I just want to say, if anybody is struggling with something and you feel like you're about to be pushed over the edge, talk to somebody. Like I urge you, like let it out in a healthy way. Like your life is not meaningless. No matter who you are, what you're going through, please reach out to somebody, family. If you don't have family, go to a priest or something. Whatever you have, like a trusted friend, like talk to somebody and let it out. And don't be ashamed because you're human.
Exactly.
Anybody that judges you is not being real. Like everybody has something they're going through. And I urge you to talk it out, to find some way to ease it. Find some happy place because you deserve it. You deserve to be able to live your life. You deserve to be able to live your life and enjoy it. You deserve to have a happiness.
Exactly.
And it is I've been there before. It's hard to see the light.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, and I'm not perfect. I still have bad days. He does too. Just don't do anything that you're going to regret, and that's gonna harm people.
Yeah, don't ever think that
or yourself.
You're too weak to that showing signs of getting help is weakness.
Right. Because as long as you're still here on this earth, your story is still being written by you.
Very true.
No matter what you've been through, you can change it. You have that power. God, whatever you believe in, gave you that power. So do something with it.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Hell, even if you want to come on the show and just fucking vent for a full 2 hours about what's going on, I would even let you do that. Whatever you need to do to get...
You will have to provide us with a studio.
I mean, you can do it over Zoom. Or, you can do it over Zoom or Skype or whatever, but it's like... I wholeheartedly agree with you. It's especially men's mental health.
Thank God, I thought you half-heartedly did.
Men's mental health is not taken seriously at all. They look at us like we were talking about earlier, like men should just suck it up and
everybody
move
has
on.
the locker room mentality.
What is that?
It's something I just made up. It's like
acknowledge us.
Yeah, it's like we're in the locker room. We got to be, nothing. We're men.
We're
nothing,
men. Yeah. The brute. Oh, we're men. We don't show feelings.
Exactly.
We're the strong men. I'm gonna go chop some wood and work on this car. Like I'm that man.
And that was Paul Bunyan's mistake. John Henry. Nah, but that's it. Don't be afraid to open up and feel a little bit.
That's my problem. I think I feel things, and I've noticed, especially the last 3 years in particular, emotional stuff I feel harder than I ever have before. And I can't explain it, but there's certain things that I'll see and they'll just overwhelm me. Like in a way that no other, it's never done that before.
Like A Star Is Born?
Yeah, and and that's a great example, and I know that I bug you and Joey to watch it all the time.
I cried during that movie, Mercy Me.
It's a good movie. Yeah. It was a good movie. And
is that what it's called?
Yeah. Wait.
It's about the band Mercy Me.
Wait. What the name of the song? The name of that song that's so popular? I Can Only Imagine. That was the name of it.
Yeah. That was a great movie.
It was a really good movie.
That was a great movie.
It was a really good movie.
And his relationship with his father reminded me so much of what I went through with my own
That's
father.
why I love film, because you're able to take stuff and you find this sense of like comfort and shit like that. It's like and this is coming, and I enjoyed the movie, and I'm not a religious person. Like I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I
oh man, sometimes I just wish topic. I just wish somebody could reach into my spine, pull it out, and wring it out like a...
That's fair. I get that.
Sounds painful, but
I'll do it.
If my spine could temporarily become a wet rag, and you just wring it out, then replace the bones in there, I'd feel good.
But yeah, I'm somewhere in that middle ground of I don't know really what I believe, but I still really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was really good. And like you said, it was super touching and inspiring. Regardless of what religion you are, you can just watch it for the story. I mean,
great story.
You know, and
a true story.
And that's the same with A Star Is Born. Like, I related so much with the two characters in that about, God, is that, and like the symbolism that was in that movie. Like, I can't explain what it was. I'd have to be watching the movie.
It's crazy because we made fun of that movie.
Well, I know you and Joey did.
Well, didn't you before you watched it?
Well, I wanted to see. I was curious to see it because I really like Bradley Cooper, and and the fact that he was directing it, I was like, oh, this is cool. I really want to see what he does with this. Yeah. And I went to the theater to see that for the first time by myself, and it's one of the movies.
Can we get Bradley Cooper as a guest on the show?
I would love to have Bradley Cooper as a guest. I'd have
any celebrity list.
I would have so many questions. But when that movie was over, I just sat there in the theater, like the credits were rolling, and I just sat there just staring and shit. And
paralysis.
The whole it's a long movie, but the whole way home, I didn't listen to the radio. Nothing.
Yeah. That's when you know something hit.
It stayed in my mind.
That's right.
And I think I ended up seeing that movie 9 or 10 times in theaters, just because of
there's movies like that.
What it did for me. And he was actually on Oprah, and she was reading these comments that people made about that movie. And this was a guy coming from a guy. One guy, she read a statement to. She said that movie. He said during the final song of that movie, the guy described how he felt all his depression just leave his soul. And I was like, bro, that just gives me goosebumps thinking about that shit.
No, that's cool though. Yeah,
that's awesome. Man, that just, God, there's just so much stuff in that movie that I relate to. And again, that's what I love about film. Yeah, and it's cool that I'm glad to see that there was a movie. I think it's really cool that there was a movie that touched you that way. Because I remember when you texted us about you saw that movie.
Yeah. Because movies don't do that for me that often.
So I think that's even a rare. I think to me, it's more special to me when somebody.
Actually, a lot of stuff doesn't do that to me that much. It just depends.
Yeah,
on what it is.
That's fair. Well, that's what I was going to ask you. When was the last? Are you okay with crying? Are you like somebody that's like just you don't care if you cry, just let it out? And
yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't want to do it around certain people or places, but I can cry to my brother and my mom, and my sisters and stuff. I try not to cry around them, things we've been through, but yeah, I mean, I think it's important to have one every now and then.
I haven't. See, that's what's. No, okay, yeah, never mind. I have.
I can't just sit here and cry.
I had the last huge one I had was in December. I think it was in December. It was in December. I just came back from the beach, maybe a couple days. It was right after it was Black Friday. That was the day. It was the day of Black Friday.
Why do they call it that?
It's probably when I don't know.
That's racist. Should call it White Friday. Yellow Friday.
But I took somebody out
and shot him. I'm terrible. Ignore me. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I can't put it that way anymore because how you said it was too funny. Somebody was having a hard time. A friend of mine was having a hard time.
Yeah.
So I took her out I told her when I got back from the beach, I would take her, go do something fun, get her mind off a lot of stuff. And within that time,
like a date or just a friend thing?
Just a friend thing. And
that's cool.
I just took her. We went to go see a movie and went to a couple stores, just shopped around. I think we ate somewhere and all that. So when I got back and everything, she went home. I don't know what it was, but I just had this overwhelming sense of whatever. I just had this full breakdown. Just cried in the kitchen. Had to pick myself up off the ground. Brought myself up here. Let it all out. But the good thing about that though is within that night, I had song that I had been working on for a while that I always had the first verse to, but nothing else.
Yeah, and you were able to write more.
So that entire night, I actually came up here and stuff kind of just flowed out of me, and I was able to write the song, and I finished it. And I actually put together a whole melody and demo that night and stuff like that. So it's like there's great things that come out of pain and stuff like that. Like you don't ever. There's a great quote I heard that
don't run from it.
It's like that says don't waste your pain.
Yeah,
and I love that because it's just and But yeah, I cry a lot now. There's a lot of stuff that, like I said earlier, there's a lot of emotion stuff that gets me more now than
for sure
ever before. Like I'll see anything, like especially like animals. Like I'll see these videos on TikTok of people spending like their last day with their dog, and I'm like, oh, that just that just gets to me.
I tell you, another thing that changed my life was having COVID.
Really?
I've never been in so much physical pain and just psychological stress.
That's fair. I can't imagine.
I had to take like 10 showers a day just to feel something different, like droplets on me, because I was shitting every step I took.
That's insane.
I was feeling like I was going to pass out, taking 2 steps to go to the couch. I couldn't even watch Osmosis Jones.
It's appropriate
without
movie to
getting
watch.
sick.
That's insane, man. That's insane.
And I joke about it, but dude, I couldn't eat for days. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah,
I was that sick 15 straight days without a let up.
That's thankfully so far.
On the 15th day, I forced myself to drive to Little Caesars to eat some unhealthy shit, and I almost passed out on the way home.
We had a manager. She got COVID. And she was talking about how, like you said, she was so weak, and she essentially has a farm, and she was talking about how she had to go out there and force herself to throw hay and all that shit like that. And I was like,
worthless.
I was like, I don't know how she did it.
I couldn't.
She passed out in her truck.
I couldn't do anything. I could barely wipe my own ass.
Yeah, because you're so weak.
My brother had to help me with anything. By the way, he got it unaffected. Essentially,
like I said, it depends.
I'm thankful for that, though.
It depends on who you are. I think because it's what your immune system is and all that stuff too. And I've got a shitty ass immune system.
I think it attacks your weaknesses because I've had a weak or fucky digestive system.
That's fair.
And that's where it attacked me the most. I didn't have as much of the breathing issues.
Well, plus it's your body. It's something your body's never experienced before.
Bro, the only way I could go to sleep was to take a melatonin, go get in the shower for like 20 minutes under the hot water, and go lay down immediately after, like,
Jesus.
Because I was just aching so bad. Sleep was the only piece I had.
Did you get like full 8 hours or full or?
Well, I wasn't working, so I got like 12 hours.
That's good.
Sometimes.
The more you sleep, that's what they say.
But I still felt shitty
like dog
every
shit.
time. When I woke up, I wanted to go right back to bed.
I get you. I get that. Well, yeah, because you want to have some kind of relief from pain. And I mean, I understand that.
I do not wish that hell on even my worst enemy. And it's unfortunate because we'll never get rid of it now.
Yeah, with the 47 variants and everything else, it keeps happening. And
what freaks me out is what else is they're going to add? What else are they going to release?
What was it? The thing that got released? Was it not released, but
monkeypox?
There's something, yeah, some kind of another, or smallpox or something's going around again or some shit like that.
Whatever happened to large pox?
It's too dangerous.
I think about shit like that all the time. Yeah, it's too dangerous.
I
heard polio. They had a case documented.
That's it. Not smallpox.
Recently.
Polio. That's it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be in Europe or somewhere. But I saw something the other day that said the first case was now in America.
Oh God!
But I don't know if I buy it.
Airborne.
I don't know if I buy it because like the way that the article was laid out and shit, I was like, I don't know if this shit's
everybody's
true
gonna be
or
like Forrest.
Awful. So I don't know if that shit's actually true, like legitly true or not. But
who knows what the truth is? I don't believe much of anything, especially media wise.
That's fair.
They lie about everything just to get a damn story.
So when was the last time that you cried?
I want to say one of the last argument fights me and my brother had.
That's fair.
I broke down because I see the pain he's in. And going back to what you said earlier, you want to help somebody because you don't want to see them go through what you went through. I know what I went through growing up. I want him to have a chance. But he's so deeply hurt, it makes me afraid sometimes that he's going to feel like this when he grows up, or like I did.
Well,
that's why I try so hard, and that's why I care about him so much, because I see myself in him at that age.
Well, let me just start out by saying, if it makes you feel any better, you're doing a great job. You're doing a killer job. The kid's still breathing, so that's
barely.
that's a thumbs up in my book, right? Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're doing more than this whole situation than I ever could have, or ever probably can, for that matter. You saw a situation, and you selflessly. Oh my God.
Selflessly.
Thank you.
But if you're thrust into something like that, you find out who you are. Like, you have no choice but to rise above. If that situation happened to you, I have no doubt that you could also rise above and help something like that.
I don't know, man. You just got more in that department. You've got so much more patience than I do in that department.
But I didn't have that before him. So
fair.
If you mean to tell me if you had a brother who was just like you, and you seen how he was growing up, and that you wouldn't do everything you possibly could to help him, I know you would, because I know you're a good person. Joey would probably do the same thing too.
I thought you were going to go the total opposite with Joey.
I wanted to for a second.
I was just kidding. Sorry.
Joey
would
smother the kid in the first day. But that's my point, is like until you're faced with something,
exactly, yeah, true.
You don't know how it's going to change you or whatever.
Very true.
But those are things you can be proud of, and it may be a different path for you. It may be, I don't know what to say for an example, but
it's fair.
Something could happen that's life altering. Well, that gets you to finally be like, I got to get the hell out of where I'm at now.
Well, work-wise, my mom has even told me that
I didn't even mean that. I meant like mentally.
Yeah. I was just saying, like,
in my head movies.
that work-wise, even my mom has told me that she said, I believe one day you're going to go into work, and finally something's going to click within your mind where you're like, you know what? Fuck this. This is, just fuck all this, and then I'm just gonna walk out and leave, and that'll be the end of it.
Yep.
And I hope that's the case. But the other question I wanted to ask that was on this thing: what has been the lowest point of like the lowest point that you faced over the past couple years, like where you were just like, I know you just said COVID. COVID was probably a big factor for you.
Lowest point, I would say, not even COVID.
Really?
A couple years ago, me and a good friend of mine had a falling out.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And I don't want to get into the reasoning behind it.
I get it.
But I would literally go to work feeling miserable, come home. This was before my brother was living with me, before I was a big part of his life. Go to work, come home, lay on the couch, watch TV, and shovel food into my mouth. I gained so much weight, got so unhealthy, and then went to bed to do it all again.
You try to eat, you're just trying to eat your feelings.
I guess so, yeah. But that was probably my lowest point, and it took a long time to get out of that. I had to do therapy. I discovered my brother wasn't in my life for about 6 years after our dad passed away, but I rekindled with him. We went to church sparingly. I just have tried to look at things differently. You almost have to. If you keep looking at things the same way, it's going to end ugly in some form. You know, I don't know what that means, but it's just going to create more evil and harm in the world, and we already have way too much. So why? Why not write your story different? You're in charge of it.
Did, in that time, have you spoken to that person anymore?
No.
Have you learned to let that go?
I think for the most part, yes.
Because believe me, that was a huge thing with me, and it will haunt you until you're able to let it go.
If I am faced with seeing that person in person, I don't know how I'll react.
It's fair.
But
I think now, though, you would be able to...
Distancing, I'm in a way better place now than I was. Distancing from something like that is the best way. That's why I don't get on social media that much.
Well, social
media... Despite the fact I just checked Facebook 2 seconds ago.
Social media is nothing but a cancer anyway.
It really is.
That's all it is.
Well, and what gets me is I feel like I'm old-fashioned, like I should have been born in like the 60s or something.
Same, feel you.
Because social media has ruined, and I mean absolutely raped the dating game.
Ruined everything.
Like it's such a joke now. Part of that's me and my experiences, and part of that's truth, because
it is true.
It's just like people don't care about in-person interactions anymore. They don't care about connections. Everybody's just in that digital world.
Well, that's the thing too, and most people don't know what the fuck they want. No one has. It's like they don't have. They have a inkling of what they might want, and then when they commit, it's like they realize that it's not what they thought it was going to be, or that they... Oh, shit. What was I going to say? It's like it's either it wasn't what they wanted it to be, or they realized they wanted something else out of it.
Inkling. A slight knowledge or suspicion. A hint.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Did I use it correctly?
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start interrupting the podcast if somebody uses a big word and tell the definition.
I don't, it's just weird, especially like dating. Like I said, people don't know what they want.
Dating sucks nowadays.
That's why I don't have no interest in it. I don't have any.
But as a human that wants to procreate,
I've got you guys. I can't procreate with you, but I got you guys.
But you know what I'm saying.
I can try to procreate with you guys.
You can't help but long for that stuff, but I've gotten to a point where it doesn't bother me as much as it used to, and I just kind of take it as what it is, and I can't control everybody around me. I can only control me and how I react to things.
That's fair.
And I'm not fully there, but it's raised a load off of my shoulders.
My thing about dating...
My massive shoulders.
Is like, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Better than half-heartedly.
I think that me, over the last couple years, I've become so content with being on my own.
Yeah.
I'm okay with being on my own.
You almost feel like you deserve it.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me. I'm sure there's days where you feel that for me, you feel that little, like, tingle of loneliness. But it's like, it's not like
this... You don't think it bothers you, any?
No, because I think my thing is because I've got so many other things that I need to work on first before I dated somebody again.
Right. Do you think that's maybe the hardest thing to overcome?
It could be.
Why it's saved till last?
It could be. Because it's like I need to learn to love myself before I can really love anybody else.
You do, and that's hard to get to, But doing things you enjoy is the first step, and you've already kind of taken that. You already do stuff like that.
Well, I was going to say my other thing was I think that for me to actually probably end up in a relationship, it would have to be something totally unexpected. Like we went somewhere and we just ran into somebody and then... Not like love at first sight or anything, but like just a real connection.
Well, they say that's how it happens.
And it has to be completely something that I was not...
but,
It's like it's nothing that I would be expecting, completely off guard. It would just have to be this most random, off-the-wall thing.
Right.
And I don't know. And I don't get out or have the time enough for anything like that to happen. So,
well, you got to make time. You got to make some time for that when you're ready.
Yeah, and I think that's...
But at the same time, you'll never be ready until you make time. It's like a
double-edged sword.
Yeah, like you have to, you have to bleed a little bit to heal.
True.
That's a good way to put it. I'm a philosophizer.
I don't know.
Spencer Cleese.
I'd say my lowest point, and you know this because I've talked to you about it now, was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I won't. I get
Thought
like
you died.
Like you, I won't go into detail because it's not fair for me to say things about things, and I wouldn't do that anyway. But let's just say some stuff came my way in December, and I held on to that for about 3 months.
2 years ago.
Till about March.
Yeah.
And December of 2020. And till about March 2021, I kind of just held on to a bunch of shit, and then I realized, about in March, I was like, you know what, I'm not okay. And
would it take too long to explain?
What are you talking about?
What you went through?
I mean, I'll explain what I went through and everything, but it was.
I mean, you don't have to.
I'm not going to give the reasoning of anything, but it was like I said, that's just not fair. So then, I realized of March of 2021 that I just wasn't okay. I held on to a lot of stuff, and I realized that if I didn't confront stuff, that I was going to be even worse, and shit was going to eat away at me even more.
Whatever it is, you have to face it.
And I did, and even doing that cost me to where I realized in that time I wasn't okay. I couldn't pretend I was okay. I didn't feel like doing shit. I didn't talk to anybody. For 6 months straight until September. From April to September, I went to work, came home, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was worried about you.
And I felt so bad because, like, I didn't keep anybody in. I didn't have the strength to.
And to be honest, it's nobody's business what it was, because it was, you had to go through that, and you don't owe an explanation to anybody.
Well, also at the time, it hit
except
me.
For me.
Well, it hit me that I, what's the word? Like I
neglected me.
Well, yeah, and it's like, I felt so bad because like all these people, and I appreciate everybody that actually reached out and was asking me if I was okay, and I also apologize for not getting back to anybody. But there would be days where I would literally come home and just throw my phone, and it would be sit over there for all day. Yeah. And
I will be honest, I have known where you lived for some time, and I had the thoughts to come here and drag you out.
That's fair. That's fair. I get that.
But I did not want to make the trip up here and you not be here. So I never did that.
I get that. That's I completely understand.
Out here in BFE.
I understand. And then like you said, like you realized that there was a certain point after you realized this stuff, I had to let go of a bunch of stuff, and I needed closure on a bunch of stuff, and I got it, but at the same time I feel like I didn't get all of it, if that makes sense. Like I've got some of it, but some of it still feels like it's hanging in the balance, and which is fine. That might be sometimes, no closure is closure, and you just have to, like you said, suck it up and accept that. That's the fact. And like you said, and then I realized at the same time,
you gotta make sure though, you gotta find a way to heal from it.
Yeah, and that was the hardest part. And then while all this was going on, we had like 2 people from work die at the same time, and just like that I worked with, that I worked the same shift with and everything.
And they still haven't caught you?
Yeah. And within that time, I was like, guys, I was like, fuck, life is so fucking short.
And see, okay, that's kind of where I was at with COVID.
Yeah, like exactly what you were talking about. You're faced with
something like that, and you have to think about things differently.
Yeah, and I realized, I was like, I've wasted 6 months doing fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But sitting here and like,
And
you know,
wallowing in your own sorrows. Yeah. I did the same thing. It might have even been longer than that.
And I hated it. That was the lowest point. I've been to some low points, but that was the lowest of lows I've ever been.
Yep.
And yeah, and like you said, it was a different perspective. I was like, fuck. And I know you got to have money and shit to do things in order to live and all that stuff. And I hate that mentality of, oh, that's just life. It's like, no, fuck that. It's like, you know, there's more to it. There's got to be more to it.
You can change the quote though. That's just life, but you can always do something for it to be better.
True.
Like,
very true.
Kind of put a little spin on it like that.
And I just feel that now I want...
Maybe you should put that on the top. Then you can spin it and just be like, that's stupid.
Well, that's what I want to... That's why I wanted to, like... That's why when I came back into the fold, I wanted to hang out with you guys as much as possible. Because it's like I was trying to make up for 6 months of disappearing and shit like that. And I know it's so much harder for, like, you and Joey, because you guys... You essentially have a child and a great job and all these responsibilities. Same with Joey. He's got a wife, house, animals, and all these responsibilities that you guys can't just drop everything and do anything. Just like when I messaged you about going to Wilmington, I knew deep down that you couldn't just drop everything and go.
Yeah, but it was close to being able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the point I was going to make earlier was that the reason that I messaged you about that, like when we were talking... Oh,
I know what I was going to say. Like, it was so hard for us, even before Jackson came in the fold, for me, because I was on a first shift schedule.
Yeah.
And y'all both were on third shift schedules. And that makes it really tough.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Because even though I could stay up till like 4 or 5 o'clock, I don't want to because
that's fair.
It's hard to get back on. That's all I was going to say.
Well, that's fair. And it's like when I messaged you about going to Wilmington, the whole reason I was off this week, and the whole reason I messaged Spencer about trying to go to Wilmington for I just wanted to go for like a day or two trip. And because I told him I was tired, I was so burnt out, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, this entire month of my job and just my life in general, that I was like, fuck, I'm longing for a change of scenery.
Yeah. And we can do that maybe next month or something.
And I'd be all for that.
I do always have a lot going on, but I mean, I do kind of need to plan it a little bit ahead, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, bro. I just messaged you out of the blue. It's like, hey, next week, that's not, and like I said,
but I was so happy when you said that because I was like, about time. Like,
yeah.
I want that for you. And I do want to do something like that.
Well, it's like,
to help you.
Dude, I was like just chomping at the bit that night. I was texting you. Like I said, I was watching that movie and all that shit dawned on me, and I've been so fucking miserable the last month or so, and I'm like, fuck, I just want to see something different.
Did you watch Last Holiday?
I don't remember. It was like a Netflix original.
That movie with Morgan Freeman where him and Jack Nicholson.
Oh, the Bucket List. That wasn't it. It was some Netflix original movie. I don't remember what it was called.
Damn you, Netflix.
But it was, man, I don't know what it was, but like you said, maybe it was like a spiritual thing. I don't know, because like I said, it was just a fire.
It was an epiphany.
A fire lit in me, and I said, damn. I said, that'd be fun.
Yeah, an epiphany. Epiphany, not to be confused with Tiffany. The manifestation of Christ to the Gentiles as represented by the Magi.
I don't think that's the right epiphany.
Or also, your manifestation of divine or supernatural being.
There you go.
Thank you.
But I just think that within that time, something just, like I said,
a usually sudden manifestation of perception of essential nature or meaning of something. That's a better one. Yeah, something just happened to you, came over you.
Yeah, and it's like I've never, my entire life, I've never been spontaneous. I've played my entire life safe. and I've hated it. I've hated
I know,
it.
dude, I was there, yeah, and I still am there. Too.
The most spontaneous stuff I ever did when I was younger was do all those like parties that Joey talks about and stuff, and do all that.
And I missed out on that.
And dude, I'd give anything to go back to that and have you involved with
Dude,
that.
that would have been so fun.
And it's like ever since then, bro, it's got to the point to where I wear the same shirts. I know the order I'm going to wear the shirts to work. That's pitiful.
That is sad. That is a sad story.
I know the shirts I'm going to wear to work. I know.
You could write an entire chapter on that.
I know it got to the point to where when I
You
work,
take the same route to work every
route.
day.
I eat the same thing every day at work. Drink the same shit at work. I fucking come home, do the same shit when I get home. And it's like,
Sleep on the same side of the bed.
I
Be a little adventurous. Sleep on this side. But that's a joke, but in a way it's serious because
true.
if you switch little things, it can work towards you doing the big things.
True.
Take a different route to work, even if
true.
it's a couple minutes longer. Sleep
That's
on
true.
this side.
This is the side I sleep on.
Take a shit standing up.
That'd be
That's
interesting.
hard. You ever tried that?
Have you?
I try it every day.
And it got to that point where I was like, fuck, man, this can't be. I literally went to work. There was one night I went to work last week, and I said, holy shit, I realized why people shoot themselves.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if this is what I have,
They own a gun.
it's like this. If this is the routine, and like I said before, people said that's just life. I was like, that's fucking. There's got to be.
Feels like hell, yeah.
There's got to be more to life than that. That can't be all that it's about. Again, I know you got to work in order to live because you need the money and shit. But fucking hell, man, you gotta make time for some kind of fucking life.
You
outside of
deserve
it.
to live a little.
So I'm saying
And you have to.
and that's why,
Or else you're just existing. Like, you ever heard
Exactly.
living but you're not alive?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's
You just
That's the
breathing.
title of the episode. Right there.
That's fair.
Write that down.
It's
Write it. Thank you.
You're 100% right. And like I said, it's that thing of like you're just existing. You're not living. And then people say, "What the fuck's the point?" And I agree. I've been there. It's like, what the fuck is the point of existing if you can't even live? You just go through these shitty motions every day.
Yeah.
And that's
And even if they don't feel shitty at first, they will eventually feel shitty.
And it's like, dude, like I said, something just hit me that night. I texted you and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I want to try to be spontaneous.
You think about, I want to bring up like Robin Williams, like on the outside, dude had everything or whatever. But what if he felt like that, like he's just going through the motions?
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, he probably was. I mean, I know he had a symptom and everything with him. I can't think of what he had now.
a cough.
Not that. I can't remember the disease that he had. Cough. But it's like
It's nothing. It's just a little cough.
but it's like
It's awful.
and then
Rest in peace.
Well, then it hit me in November. Went to the beach in November last year, 2021, and bro, that was probably the most weirdest
Out-of-body
beach experience I've ever had in my life. I didn't feel shit the whole time I was down there. I couldn't sleep. I
You ever had a girl suck your soul out?
no, not yet.
And neither have I, but I'm hoping.
But it's like, bro, I couldn't sleep. I didn't feel.
What's she like?
I didn't feel nothing.
Yeah.
And it was
It
so
should feel
weird.
different. You're like, this should feel different.
And you're right. It was like an out of body experience.
But you're still in your body.
I celebrated my birthday while I was down there.
I remember that.
I felt fucking nothing. Went to a mall and went to this place down there that I love called Gamer's Choice or something like that, or Player's Choice or something like that, what it's called. Great store. It's filled with comics, toys, everything I love. I walked around in there for 2 hours aimlessly. And I was just like,
You remember?
this is just dead.
You remember on F is for Family when his kid, he takes him to the game and he sees all them dudes in the bathroom and he just walks back. He's just like, as the world's passing him by, that's like what I think of right there. Speaking of the beach, I would love to go with you to Myrtle. They got that Broadway on the beach,
Love
all them
Broadway.
stores.
Yeah, I love Broadway.
I would love to go to that.
You been to Barefoot?
No.
Barefoot is like Broadway. They've got
Barefoot Landing.
Yeah, Barefoot Landing.
Where is that at, Myrtle?
Yeah, it's usually
Also, there's a wax museum there too. That would be cool.
there is. Me and my mom went a few years ago to it, and it was super fun. They also have a zombie thing in there that I didn't get to try that I would love to try. It's like a zombie paintball thing.
Let's do that. We need to go to Scarowinds. I'd love to go to regular Carowinds.
I'd rather go to anything. Period.
Hey, let's. You wanna come to the zoo with me and my brother here in a few weeks?
When you going?
Don't know yet.
Let me know.
Yeah. Just be something different. And it's a 2-hour trip.
I've never been to the zoo, so
4 hour because you got to go back.
Yeah.
Unless you get locked up in a cage.
You never been? I've never been to a zoo,
dude.
I went to
it's so fun. You walk and look at animals.
I've never been to an aquarium until just a few years ago. I went to the Ripley's Aquarium. Well, I went to
that was pretty cool.
Ripley's Aquarium, and then I went to the aquarium that's in Concord Mills Mall. That's like the two that I've done.
Real animals or Ripley's, like Believe It or Not Aquarium.
The actual
where the freaky shit is.
That's the Believe It or Not, but they have an aquarium at Broadway. Yeah. That's the one I went to.
I went to that one.
Super fucking cool.
It was cool. I did not have a good lasting memory though. My mother got in a car wreck.
That's not good.
Right after we left.
That's not good.
Or actually, while I was at the gift shop.
That is not good.
But she was okay.
That's good. The
car was not. But cars can be replaced.
Wasn't it around the same time you said your mom was in an accident and somebody else fell?
Her.
She fell
2 days before.
Oh my God. I thought it was two different
Total
people.
trip was 4 days. I didn't quit worrying the entire time.
I can imagine.
Mom, God bless her, is not allowed back to the beach with me.
I can't imagine.
She just had some bad luck, but
I get it. I feel
she's
that.
okay. I mean, she'd had 2 things happen that could have been a lot worse.
I'm glad that she's okay.
I'm thankful for that. And my grandma as well. She was in the car, and she's okay.
So, did somebody just like...
I will tell you, I'm going to warn people, if you do wreck or anything at the beach and total your car, get everything you want out of your car. Because if there's any kind of like iffy on who owns the car, they will not let you get anything out of it at the tow yards.
Really?
I think it's some kind of tourist trap, and they charge you per day, and it's bullshit. So just a fair warning.
What happened with the thing? Did somebody like just T-bone the car or run right into her? Or?
Yeah.
Jesus. Would it just run a light or some shit?
He was what I call a cruiser. The people who go toward the red lights, and as they turn green, they're going through, but they don't slow down at all.
Okay. Yeah, that figures.
So.
The reason why I don't like people. But
I don't like them because you got to feed them.
That too.
I'm thinking about starting a human centipede.
Which one?
What do you think?
Which kind? The one.
Any. Did this just become weird?
We could do. Well, I know last time it was Dick.
Oh.
It was Dick's, and then I thought it was the mouth one, but.
Oh God.
But.
That movie is fucked up. Those movies. I've only seen the first one.
I've only seen the first one. Joey, I know, has seen the second one.
I've heard that one's pretty bad.
I've heard the second one. They've told me that out where I've heard, they said that the second one makes the first one look like a Disney film. Wow. That's what I've heard.
Speaking of Disney, I miss the old school Disney original movies.
I think a lot of people do.
Well, that's probably why they came out with Disney Plus. Part of it, that and to make money.
Yeah. Disney's got kind of greedy over the last couple of years. They're all about...
Disney is extremely greedy.
It's...
Don't assassinate me, please.
It's... What's the word?
Go ahead, deals.
It's...
You love that, don't you?
It's all about the money. It's... Yeah,
I thought you were going to say all about the Benjamins.
They never really... It's not really about the product anymore. They're just like, yeah, just get this out quick so we can make some money.
But that's with everything I've noticed. Like, every quality's going downhill and everything.
There's some things I feel that will still...
They destroyed Toys R Us.
Yeah, that's... I heard it's coming back, though. I heard a rumor.
Is it going to be the same?
I would hope so.
There's going to be dildos R Us this time.
They've opened a store. They've opened 2 stores. I think one was in Florida and the other one was in Texas. I think that was the 2 places. Called... It's pretty much Toys R Us, but, you know, the giraffe, his name was Jeffrey. So they called it Jeffrey's Toy Store, Toys Box, or something like that.
That's not the same!
But it's essentially Toys R Us.
Some guy out there. It ain't the same!
This is bullshit.
Hey, you know what we need to do is go hit up Party City around Halloween. Don't they still have those neck masks?
Yeah.
Dude, we need to get something like that.
I've got one. I've got a leather face mask in there that's kind of goes to your neck or whatever.
Awesome.
Apparently they're already putting out
like neck and shoulder like they had.
They're expensive though, but they're really fucking cool though.
I know.
I think they already started putting Halloween stuff out.
That's crazy.
I've already got my store.
Well, not that crazy. It's only a couple months away.
My store has already got fucking truckloads of Halloween shit in.
Jeez.
So,
that's because you work in hell, and it's Halloween all year round.
If that's the case, that means I know we're gonna be getting Christmas next month, which I'm just gonna. I don't want any part.
I'll fathom the boy.
I don't want any fucking part of it.
You have a lot of pops.
That I do, sir. That I do. I was trying to. There was another question.
What if they all came alive and attacked you?
It'd be like a demonic Toy Story.
You know what? I was doing a crossword earlier. Big surprise. There was a clue said Woody's boy, and I wrote Andy. Thought I was talking about Toy Story. Apparently, some actor's son. It was something obscure that I'd never heard of. So yes, I had to cheat and use Google. But I originally wrote Andy. Look, Andy.
Well, that makes the most
I
sense.
knew that one.
Did what is the other question was, what is the hardest that you've laughed this year? Try to mix it up from the depressing stuff.
That's easy. Anytime I hang out with you guys, I laugh harder than anything.
That's
and
fair.
At one particular time, I passed out and lost consciousness twice.
That is also
on
fair.
the couch. And it was that was a weird out of body experience because I felt like I was out for hours.
Dude, well, the second one was you were leaning up in the chair like this, and then you literally laughed, and no lie, you were laughing, and you just went.
It's like sometimes I can't catch my breath if I'm laughing so hard. I don't know what causes it, but I full on lost consciousness, not once but twice in the same night for like a split second. I'm thankful,
I've never seen you do that before. Don't know what happened.
I've never had it happen before. I've laughed like that before and had trouble, but I always was able to catch it. But whatever reason, that's probably the hardest I've laughed. But anytime, I know the hardest you laughed when I.
That was funny. That was funny, dude. And I don't know if it was because of the mixture of substances that we were on or what, but it was. That was funny.
We don't do anything.
That was funny. Now I've laughed. There's a couple of guys I work with that are really funny.
Yeah.
And there was one incident that happened, and I'll go ahead and tell you this because I think you'll find it funny too. But it's just how my friend at work reenacts it. So there was a guy trying to throw something. Oh, okay. So this guy was waiting on this girl to throw something away at the baler. Keep in mind, this girl's probably like, maybe 18. They
real quick. You ever seen Kangaroo Jack?
Been a long time.
These feel so real.
But essentially, it was this girl. Okay, she was throwing stuff away in the baler.
Yeah.
And this guy was waiting on her, and she was trying to get. When you try to get 2 or 3 buggies into the thing so you can roll them all up. Well, she couldn't get the buggy in the thing or whatever. So this dude's probably like 40 or 50. So he's like, I can't do it. I wish my friend was here so he could do it, but he pinned her between the buggy and he's behind her. And you remember that scene in Bad Santa where she's playing pinball and he's thrusting up against the chick at the pinball thing? Yeah. Essentially, it was like that. And he's like, you gotta get up in there. You gotta just get it like that or whatever.
Hump it into submission.
And the way
you ain't gonna be able to shit rock for a week.
The way that he did it. It was like slamming into the fucking door, and this poor girl was like, okay, and shit like that and shit.
And you witnessed this?
And I didn't witness it. My friend's the one that witnessed it. And then when he was trying to reenact me, he's doing it with the pallet jack thing, and he's just like, you just gotta get it, fucking just get it in there and shit like that. And it was so funny. One of the dudes that works in my department during the day, he come back there as it was happening, and literally saw it and just turned around and walked.
Wow. It's like it's something normal.
And he was just like,
that's peculiar.
He's like, I don't have time to deal with this, and just left. But I laughed pretty hard about how he reenacted that or whatever. But yeah, that other night when we were at Joey last Thursday.
That was so fun.
When we were at Joey's house and Spencer made a particular comment about how he feels like he's Asian. That shit fucking had me rolling.
Because I couldn't. It's very racist, but I couldn't hardly open my eyes. They were slanted.
It was. It was so fucking funny. Like I said, what made it so funny to me was you were all the way in the kitchen. I was in the living room, and Joey just tried to go piss.
Yeah.
And I could tell you were getting to the point where you were laughing so hard you couldn't catch your breath again. So you were trying your damnedest to catch your breath. Then I hear Joey literally in there could not stop laughing, and that just made it funnier.
I peed all over the place.
And that's what he said. He said it hurt so bad when he peed because he was laughing so hard. He'd just shoot out while he was laughing or whatever. And between that and I couldn't catch my breath, I was laughing so fucking hard. That's
and the
one of my
thing about
favorites.
it is too, like us three together, we've never really had like a big fight, and I just think we mesh well together, and we're able to that. If you're with people that you're friends with, but there's tension and stuff, you can't fully relax.
That's true. It makes things. I've been upon a group of friends where somebody's friends with somebody that's not in the group, and like they'll leave to go hang out with them or something. It just has this weird vibe to it, and you're just like, which is cool. I mean, it's like whatever. I didn't care. I'm like, you do you. It's whatever. But
Can't stay long, gotta poo.
That needs to be the name of the episode. Can't talk, gotta poo.
What did I say earlier?
Which part?
For the name of the episode.
Oh, I got it. Like you're not really alive.
Yeah, living but not alive. That was gay. We kicked our feet out at the same time when they touched. That was gay.
We loved it. So there was more I wanted to touch on, but I know we got to wrap it. But
wrap it before you tap it.
With that being said, though, hopefully this episode, I don't know, it was a way for us just to talk about things.
Yeah.
Get stuff out.
I hope it helps somebody. You know, I hope it.
That was the whole point. I wanted to do it anyway.
If you got a long commute or something, or you have some time to kill, give this a listen, and hopefully it'll help you in some way. Just get out of the funk that you're in, you know.
Yeah, that's why I do anything. And it's like that's why I like doing this, because it provides some kind of entertainment, and people have seemed to latch on to it. And I've gotten so many things about how people find us funny and the three of us really entertaining together.
That's good.
And if that can take your mind off some shit you're going through or whatever, that's the whole point.
Exactly.
That's why, like I said, if it's good for you, it's good for us. Everybody wins.
The greater good.
Everybody wins in the end. But
everybody wins.
Spencer, what have you seen as watched, listened to?
Dead people. I know y'all aren't real big fans of them, but Five Finger Death Punch has some new songs out. I've been listening to some of them. I still been watching my forensic shows. Me and my brother are still watching Supernatural. We're almost done. We're 1.5 seasons left. And he's watching The Office with me a little bit. I'm probably fixing to start on Stranger Things, because
good. It's a good show.
It's hard to not get a spoiler on that. It's everywhere on Facebook.
Yeah, try if you can. Don't get spoiled.
Yeah,
if
I want it. Yeah. So that, and just trying to keep at it. One day at a time kind of mentality. Just keep building myself. I've figured out I'm allowed to give myself a break every once in a while. I don't have to work out 7 days a week. I don't have to be perfect every day. But you just, take a mulligan, get back on track the next day. And you don't have to feel like you failed. Because when you get to feeling like a failure, that's when you give up and you don't try at all. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's where, like I said, I back in November when I was at the beach, I started to feel myself slip back into where I was at the earlier part of the year.
Yeah.
And I see, that's some shit I don't ever want to go through again. If I can stay out of that mentality, I'll be happy. That's some shit I don't ever want to experience that again. But you been listening to podcasts or anything? Or
I listen to Kill Tony. It's a podcast where they have comedians come up and speak and do a minute of comedy, and they give them tips and try to help them get either if they were serious about starting a career or they just rib them, So it's entertaining for me to listen to that. It's something to listen to in the background when on my rounds at work or when I'm doing something else.
If we go to the beach, I need to take you to the Comedy Banana.
What's that?
It's a stand-up.
Which beach?
Myrtle. It's an improv place. You can go in there.
I've thought about
not improv. What do you open mic night style thing?
I've thought about something like that. I've thought about some improv type thing.
I'm just terrible at it.
Well, there's other.
I've tried.
Everybody is when they start. That's why it's improv.
Yeah, but I feel like my shit would be so stupid. These people would give like these great suggestions, and mine would be like, "The fuck?"
Well, I've thought about. There's tons of stuff I've thought about doing. You just got to kind of take that leap of faith. I've wanted to have a bowling team. Like I
would do that with you. I would totally do that. Yeah, I would. I would totally do that with you.
I need to figure out.
I could only do it on the days that I was off, though. But I would be willing to. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'd be for it. I could do it.
I'll see if they have anything going on where that's something we could do and
I would be
out in the community. I want to do like a softball league. It's too late now, but I have to wait. I want to get back into playing a couple other sports: basketball, flag football.
I'd
like to get involved in some kind of martial arts.
That'd be cool.
I think it'd be cool to learn archery.
That would be also
There's
cool.
all kinds of stuff that I'm in my head, but it's just day to day. Like I'm busy.
That's what I'm saying. You got to make time, like you said earlier. Just try to make the time for it.
I'm guilty of I haven't made time for certain things.
Like I know that a lot of the times I'm so overwhelmed I don't feel like I have enough time to try to edit these to get these out on time, but I have to be like, all right, I've got to do this. So I have to sit down and, granted through some of the editing I want to punch the fucking computer screen in, but I just it's all about,
as my brother says, help.
It's all about making the time. Just like I wish we could see each other more than what we do.
It's morphin' time.
But I know it's so fucking hard, especially with Joey's job now. How fucking difficult it is to do anything. He's in a tough
place right now. He is. I mean, going on in his head, I think. I've been there. We worked at the same place, or I have that he's at now, and it's kind of can be a negative environment, and it's weighing on him, I think.
Well, if I'm being honest, that's also what has taken so long, along with the content as well. It's like not only is it the struggling to get together and just our individual lives, but we're all going through these
different challenges,
fighting our own demons and stuff like that. So sometimes that clashes.
It's like an eclipse.
Yeah.
Like the eclipse only happens every so often. Like that's when we can get together. Yeah. And then it passes. And then we got to wait like a century until all three of the moons. You know how them sci-fi shows, like they got to wait for all three of the moons to line up to like bring the demon to life or something?
I get that.
That's kind of how it feels.
It's like we all are facing these demons and that just clashes with everything. Because there's certain days where you're like, I love you guys and I want to see it, but I'm not feeling it. I want to see you, but it's like I'm just not feeling it for the day.
No. Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
and it's like and
it's things like I want to see y'all. I don't want to drive 30 minutes to see you.
I understand that completely.
Kind of stuff.
I get that. I completely understand.
I say that because I know that's how you feel sometimes being out here in Egypt.
Not as bad as it was trying to drive home Thursday night.
I'm sure. Jesus. Woo.
Especially you.
Nobody was out.
You telling me, dude? No fucking lie. I'll tell you this story real quick. When you're on 321 and you're coming to my house, you got to get off that one on-ramp to take that big, huge fucking bend to get on the interstate here.
Would it feel like a never-ending hallway or something?
I got on that fucking bend, and in my head, I'm going the speed limit. I'm going like 65, 70. Fucking 15. Bro. I look down, I'm going 25, and there is a car on my ass around the fucking bend. Just literally on my ass like this.
I thought every mailbox was a person about to jump out. I was like, and I only lived 15 minutes away.
I live like a fucking full 45 minutes to an hour. If you take 70, it takes me over an hour to get to their house. If I take the interstate, it takes me like a good 30 minutes.
The biggest challenge for me day to day is managing my fatigue because I'm not sleeping well. I need a sleep machine that they refuse to send me.
That's so bad, man. That's so bad.
Okay, so my brother has to go an hour away for therapy, an hour's drive away.
Damn.
I had to take him on Wednesday after I had already seen 5 people that day. And I get so fucking sleepy on the interstate.
Oh, I get it.
It's just the same fucking thing, a green sign showing nowhere.
Yeah.
And for like 30 minutes straight, or 30 to 40 minutes, we were on the same path. And I had to keep slapping myself to wake up. It's scary. But,
I'm with you about the sleep thing.
It's important. His therapy is important.
I get it. I get that.
Him to talk to somebody.
And that's a sacrifice that you make, that you're like, look, this is something that needs to be done. And you're like, I'm going to be tired as hell, but I've got to do this. It's like one of the things, like you said, I have to make the time to do this.
Before I had time to take naps.
That's fair.
I don't have that anymore. If I want to do my workouts, if I want to see my people, if I want to have time with him, if I want to play Xbox, I don't have time to do all those and nap.
There's not enough hours in a day.
But see, the biggest thing domino to fall is getting a CPAP again. Like if I can get that and get quality rest, I won't need to nap. I won't have the urge to nap.
What's the deal with that? How come you can't get it?
It's the pandemic.
Fair.
I mean, I guess
they're
just all stuck on a ship or something, and like they don't have workers to unload them. I ought to call and be like, I'll unload it. Just tell me where the boat is. Like, whatever. I'll take a dinghy out there. I'll go fucking climb up like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'll climb up the anchor line.
I feel you on the sleep thing.
I'm trying to be patient about it, but it's tough.
I get it. Yeah,
every
it's
time
frustrating.
Every time you call somebody, the IRS is the same way.
Dude, if it makes you feel, my mom's still waiting on her money.
I'm convinced that they see the phone ringing and just hang up.
That's what I'm saying. They'll bug the fuck out of you to get their money, to threaten to throw your ass in jail. But when it comes to getting your money back, they're like,
this next year.
They're like, no. What'd you say? You say you're not
I'm not paying taxes this next year. They can hunt me down, and then when they finally get to my doorstep, be like, thank you. I've been waiting 3 years for this.
I've been trying to talk to one of you fuckers for 3 years on the phone to figure out where the hell my tax return is from 2 years ago.
I'll just be arrested.
True,
but
unfortunately.
No, it's crap. Like,
it is crap. It is. So I'm saying it's bullshit. They'll go out of their way and harass the fuck out of you to get their money.
And I don't have time to sit on the phone for an hour for somebody who's not going to answer the phone.
True.
That, to me, that's probably at the top of my list. The single most frustrating thing in my life is trying to contact the IRS. I wrote them a letter. Still haven't responded. What I got to do? Call a bomb threat? I'm joking. Don't take that serious. But it's just like, what gives?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
What does it take Joe Schmo over here to do his job?
Well, someone said, if it makes you feel any better, my mom called somebody the other day about hers. And
I'm going to call government office,
and
I think.
She said that they told her that they were super behind on something. So it was going to be a huge delay in getting them back. That's why it's taking so fucking long.
I would like to have them back before I'm 50.
That's fair.
Preferably.
That's fair. I get that. And since you owe a fucking... Or not you owe.
Owe me.
Since they owe you a good substantial amount of money, like fucking hell, they're looking every fine damn detail at to make sure, because they're not going to give you any more money than they have to. So
I'll hire a lawyer and they will.
I'm saying that they will, but they're going to look at every damn piece of paper to be like, oh, well, he gets this much. Let's see if it's just really fucking true. So make sure they're not going to go out of the way to give you what They don't want to give you that amount of money back or whatever.
Well,
but
I'll go postal on them. Give a fuck. That's funny sometimes, but that actually happens, and it is sad. And I pray for those people. I pray for those people fighting those mental battles, thinking that's the only way out. That's the worst choice you can make.
I've been there plenty of times.
That destroys others' lives and your own.
I'm on that fine line about every other day where I'm like,
I tried to stay on a fine line. I lost my balance.
Fell off.
Dude, I have a million of those little quips. Like, it just takes somebody saying something and I can flip it around.
That's a good thing.
It is.
I feel you 100% on the sleep thing because I'm with you. I average maybe about 5 hours of sleep a day. That's it.
Do you snore? Has anybody told you if you snore?
No, but my problem is I can't stay asleep.
Maybe you're...
Maybe
you should look into a sleep study.
I think it's because my mind knows that I have to get back up and do something later that night, so I'm restless all the time. Because I'm always waking up, rolling over, falling asleep, waking up, rolling over, vice versa. So,
I think...
plus, when I lay down, my mind just starts going 1,000 miles an hour. It's like, think of all this shit you've done your whole life, and think about this and all this shit you got to do. It's like I need to just calm my mind and all that stuff or whatever.
Maybe sleep study might be something you should think about.
That's why I feel like a zombie most of the time is because of that. That and working such a physical job.
It could be that you quit breathing a few times every hour and you caused you to wake up sometimes.
I just would like to go to sleep and stay asleep.
I wake up sometimes and it feels like I swallowed a desert.
I've been there. I know that feeling. That's why I got that thing going behind you.
Well, here, even with a fucking fan, oh, you mean the candle?
The humidifier.
You mean the dead fat guy?
Dehumidifier. Get some moisture in this fucking room.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
But for me, I think what I've been listening to, I haven't really got a chance to listen to much music or podcast for that matter, thanks to how I've been working.
Other than that devil crap.
Because thanks to how I've been working, because mainly I've been trying to help out other people and shit like so. I hadn't had a lot of chance to listen to them, so I hadn't been by myself to really listen to them. I watched the movie last night on Amazon. I'd recommend to everybody if anybody likes like dramedy, small independent movies called Don't Make Me Go, which is something I say every day before I go to work.
Don't make me come. Don't make me go. Every time I hear something like that, I think of Jaden Smith. I hate it here. That is such a great meme.
I love that movie, though.
Bro, I bet he sends that to people when they piss him off.
I don't care what anyone says. The remake of The Karate Kid was actually pretty good.
It's good, yeah. It's good.
Mainly for Jackie Chan, because I just love Jackie Chan. But yeah, it was a really good movie.
It's a good movie, that Jet Li's Fearless. You ever seen that?
It's been a long time. It's a good movie. But I remember liking it. So before we head out of here, any last words you just want to say to the people, since this has been more of like a...
Make it sound like I'm about to be executed. Any last words?
What's your last meal?
Bro, there's some... I've read about stuff like that. There's some crazy last meals. Somebody had like a single olive or something.
Somebody at work was telling me about that a couple of weeks ago, about how they were...
People have like a 10-course meal.
I would.
Yeah.
That way, if I got executed, maybe I'd shit all over myself, and it'd be their job to clean it all. It'd be my...
They'd leave you in it.
It'd be my last fuck you for them. But since this was more of... I mean, I know this episode was more serious, but I just want to...
Just last word, just whatever you're going through...
Just keep fighting.
Keep fighting. If you feel like you got to... just talk to somebody, let it out in a healthy way. It's just so important to get that out there because you're not alone. I mean, everybody's got something different, but there are similarities with what somebody else is going through.
True.
And you use that camaraderie, band together, and overcome it. Write your own story. It's still being written as long as you're still here.
And I think that, and believe me, I'm guilty of that. There's a lot of things that I don't talk about because I feel like I don't know how to talk about.
Yeah.
But even just venting about anything, it can lead to shit coming out and stuff like that. So it's just keep fighting. That's my biggest thing. It's like, I know it seems that the world's coming to an end and shit's going on every fucking day of the week. And I know it can be it can just be really, really overbearing to be a fucking human being right now.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
And there's a quote I wanted to end on that I found the other day. That there's a lot of quotes.
Also, real quick before you do the quote.
Go ahead.
Also, don't be afraid to live your life. Don't let the fear of what could happen stop you from going after what you want. Be unafraid.
Exactly.
Of what could happen, and just live in the moment, and don't let anybody or anything stop you from being able to live a little.
Because that's one thing that I'm still learning how to do, if it makes anybody feel any better. That's what I was telling Spencer last week. That's why I wanted to be a little bit spontaneous, because I wanted to learn to live in the moment, to enjoy the moment. And yeah, there's so much stuff going on right now, but if you got something good in your life right now, hold on to that and embrace it and really just savor it and live it.
Hold it so tight that you suffocate it.
Just, yeah, live it. Live in the moment.
Crossword.
And just, that's the thing. Yeah, don't be afraid to live. And no matter how small it is, don't take it for granted.
Or large.
True. No matter how big or large, whatever it is, just don't take it for granted. Just make sure you just live it. That's the best thing, because, like you said, a lot of people just, they're alive, but they're not breathing.
That is the name of the episode. Funny.
But
they're seeing, but they're not blinking.
There's a quote that I found the other day.
They're chewing, but they have no teeth.
that hit me really hard, and I think you would like it too. And I read so many quotes, and some of them really get to me, but this one really stuck out to me. And based on everything we talked about, like I said, I think you'll get something out of this too. The quote is, "Sometimes the reason good things aren't happening to you is because you are the good thing that needs to happen to other people."
That's a great quote. Who is that?
I don't know. It didn't say. I came across it randomly, and that quote really stuck with me. So
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
But
maybe you should write that down on a paper or something where you can look at it every day. Make some room on one of these walls somewhere. And no, I'm serious though.
I know, but you're just like somewhere.
Put it on your mirror wherever you go,
fair.
like in your bathroom or whatever. Yeah, move the bodies out of the way. But I'm just kidding.
Got a lot of work to do in there. But
the bodies hit the floor. Nothing wrong with me.
For anybody that doesn't know, I released a video earlier today that it's another Movies with Mike episode where I discuss
the masturbation thing. Oh no, never mind.
It was a discussion. The Halloween Ends trailer dropped Tuesday night, and I was giving my thoughts on it along with the newest trilogy. So what now?
How long are those?
How long is what?
The video.
It's about less than an hour.
Okay.
And me and you, when Joey goes to Iceland, I want you to come over and we'll do ours for the thing.
Perfect.
And
we could probably do another movie too. I'm trying to think of a good one.
I got the new camera and everything set up, so I just
we could do one for Hereditary.
That would be cool. I'd be for that.
I'm not watching it again.
You got to watch it to prep. Come over about 2 hours earlier and we'll watch it so we can prep.
We'll watch The Thing. Forget what I said about Hereditary.
We'll do Hereditary. Well, that's a good one.
We can do one on.
That's a good one.
On Smile, because we're gonna do. Well, that won't be.
That'll be later in September. Okay. That'll be when it comes out or whatever.
We'll think of something.
I thought, you mentioned The Thing before.
We can do one on Darkness Falls. That's kind of an obscure old movie.
Yeah, because I haven't seen that movie in fucking forever. That's one I would have to rewatch again.
I'd like to rewatch it.
I think it's on HBO.
That scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
God, yeah, I just remember bits and pieces. I can't remember anything about it. But that's one we'll try to.
We'll save it for the.
We'll try to do.
You look like a Quaker.
Because of the blanket on your head.
Like, imagine if this was white. I would look like like the 17th century.
Fried 'em, boys. Fried 'em.
Like a judge or something.
Fuck them redcoats. Fried 'em.
Like I have knickers.
But I released that video today. It's about less than an hour, so if you're interested in that, please go check it out. There's a video format on the YouTube page, and it's also in podcast format on all the platforms that came out, released today. We're sorry Joey couldn't be here. He had to work super late, and then he had car trouble. So me and Spencer came over, and we decided to do this episode that I've been wanting to do for a while, and Spencer was cool enough to do it, and I want to thank you for being so cool and open about everything, willing to spread your openness to the world about how it's okay to not be okay, and
it's true.
And so So appreciate you for that, brother.
Thank you as well, and thank you to all the viewers and listeners for
so much appreciated.
Yeah, for taking time out of your day and listening to these extremely long rants.
That's all they are. Real quick, you can find us on all our podcast platforms, including YouTube. We've been pumping out some horror videos there.
Emphasis on pumping.
Hopefully, Hellseed. I got a couple more videos with the current one we're on, and Hellseed should be the next one that comes out that will have all three of us. It'll be the first one that Spencer is with us.
Oh, so, man, that was a trip.
And then hopefully after that should be Poppy's playtime. We need to get back.
Poppies.
I want to get back over so Spencer can play episode 2. I think they're on episode 2.
I ran so much in that game.
Yeah, this one in the second episode you're chased by something called Mommy Longlegs or something like that. So that's what you're chased. I think
it's
that's
different from that thing in the first one.
Well, Poppy's the main villain, but
the blue thing.
Yeah, but he's got
minions.
Yeah, essentially, and this one's called like Mommy Longlegs. I think is what this one's called. But,
Jesus.
But please check us out wherever you check us out. Please give us a rating because it really does elevate and help us get up there, and more people can see our stuff. Same with YouTube. Please subscribe and like the videos, comment on them, share them around with anybody you know. Maybe, just maybe, that if you guys will throw out if you guys give us a rating, maybe Spencer will be nice enough to send you a nude.
Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe and stay positive.
Exactly. And just want to say thank you guys so much.
Party on, Garth.
We appreciate everything you guys are doing for us, and thanks for checking out the episodes, videos, all that stuff. Really enjoyed making these for you. So
over and out.
See you guys next time.